Somewhere in California, in one of these few places where animal actors are kept, we come across a special story about a lion, his struggles, and the ones who love him.
Pond 5.
This is the story of a white lion named Zuri.
Well, to give you a little background on Zuri, at the time, we were getting ready to do this other film. We were looking for some unusual animals for the film. And I never thought that I'd ever own a white lion. The cost alone was going to be extremely high. And I never even thought about it till I got a call from somebody, and he said, "Joe, I understand you're looking for something unusual for your next movie." And I said, "Yeah, I definitely would. I'm looking for something like a white tiger or whatever." And he says to me, "Well, what about a white lion?" And I just kind of laughed, and I said, "I can't afford a white lion. I don't have $75,000 to throw out." And he says, no. He says, we can get you something, a white lion that's within your price range. And I thought, wow, that'd be something. So I said, okay, let's investigate this. And all of a sudden it started happening. And so, after trials and tribulation, here comes this baby white lion. And we were so proud because we're just going, wow, not only do we have a new lion cub, which we really wanted, something super special that we thought we could never even own. And now we have one. I mean, Tammy's pushing him around in a baby buggy. I'm like, everybody come to the ranch, you got to see what we have.
Pond 5.
And everybody's showing up to see the white lion, and and like the world was it was like top of the world for us. And then all of a sudden, one day somebody runs in the house and says, "Joe, Zuri's having seizures." And I run down there and this little cub is having seizures. I'd never seen it before.
Pond 5.
Well, we gather him up and take him into the vet. The vet says, "Oh, well, we'll check on this, we'll check on that, but here we'll sedate him a little bit and take him on home." Tammy calls me that night and goes, "He's in seizures
Pond
again."
5.
And it was like, it just deflated everything, because not only were we worried about him surviving, but we've never dealt with this.
Pond 5.
And that's when you make up your mind, and we made up our mind, well, we're going to do whatever it takes. And that's the way we treated it. In the meantime, we've got a movie going that he's part of a movie, and we have to turn around to our business partners and say, well, we may not be able to finish the movie with him, because if he goes into seizures in this movie, we got to stop. But we seem to have him under control. And that's when somebody else calls me up and says, "Well, Joe, we understand you got one with seizures. How would you like another one?" And I said, "Not with seizures." He goes, "No, we know somebody that bought one lion from that litter and didn't pay his bill.
Pond 5.
And we'll sell you that lion too at the price that you bought this lion at." So we did. That's how we got Zuma. And
Pond 5.
he's been perfectly healthy. But he's got a strange personality because he was with other people before he came to us. We don't know what they did or why he has the outlook that he has. Because he can be a sweet lion, then he can just turn around going, "I'm not a sweet lion." But then, Zuri always was a sweet lion, even when he's having his seizures. We've always managed to, keep it under control and keep working with it. And that's why we're going to keep doing it as long as we can, where it's safe for him
Pond 5.
and not cruel to him. Even though I've already been approached by people saying to me, "Joe, you're in there with a 600-pound lion
Pond 5.
who's going through seizures, and you have certain things you're going to have to do to stop that seizure. what happens if he kills you?
Pond 5.
You better start thinking about it, because not so much for yourself, but there's other people in this business, and if something happens to you, we all get, a big light shines on all of us. And so it's been a different situation, and so far we've been pretty lucky with him, and we keep trying, and we're back to making progress with him again.
My name is Mark Hadley, Director of Cardiopulmonary. I've been doing that here for the last 12 years. My title, I'm a respiratory care practitioner. I've been in healthcare for over 25 years. A friend of mine, her name's Therese Clinton.
Pond
We'll keep
5.
tight.
And so you don't want to crouch down either,
Okay.
because that makes you smaller than him.
Gotcha. She works as a wrangler.
This is a nice little treat because this one's unexpected.
Pond 5.
So you want to just come on in quickly.
Here we go. Thank you. And I was telling her that, I like to work on animals and fix their, energy problems, muscle problems. She told me about this white lion that she was working with named Zuri. This lion at the time was just about a year old, and she was telling me that Zuri has been having seizures ever since he was a cub.
That's just a year old. What? Oh, isn't that? Look at you! Look at you! I mean, what an honor.
He's magnificent.
Yeah, what an honor.
One of the other things besides doing my management job here is I have always been into holistic medicine. I've always had a fascination about healing people. Doing it through medicine and doing it through doctors and stuff is the way our society is structured. But I feel there's a misnomer there. There's some type of falseness of the touch, how important touch is to humans, how important touch, just human touch, is to animals.
Pond 5.
Breaking news on KCAL 9 News at 4. Buildings go up in flames as fire races through bone-dry brush, devouring 5,500 acres in hours.
The aerial attack is underway, but the Blue Cut fire shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
This fire started near Devore and quickly spread in several directions, forcing mandatory evacuations for all of Wrightwood and evacuations in at least 6 other areas.
82,000 people have been told to leave their homes.
First thing comes to mind, about getting a phone call from my friend and Joe, and he's telling me, hey Mark, you heard about that fire up here in San Bernardino? He goes, well, it's close enough that we have to evacuate right now. And I was like, oh my God, that fire, that Blue Cut fire, that's coming to you at your place. And he's like, yeah, Mark, so he goes, taking Zuri, Tammy, Therese, Roger, all these people are people who, again, love Zuri, love the animals, who take care of them. They're all wranglers of some sort. But I mean, he had people coming out of the hills
Pond 5.
that have exotic animals. They're all over the place. You don't realize it, but there's quite a few people that have these type of animals. Some are rescues, some are like Joe's, the animal actors. Thought of not being able to get there. They were sending me pictures, and they had Zuri inside a box, this crate they had to put him in. And he was one of the last to leave. So before even they got to that putting him in that crate, they had to move like 50, 60 other animals. I mean, we're talking wolves, we're talking, coyotes, we're talking birds, we're talking cats, we're talking dogs. I mean, all this stuff had to be evacuated like now. The picture with Zuri in the back of this box, they're pulling along, and you see the flames of this thing that is immense. They said they could hear the sound of it, and then just the planes coming in and dropping, planes dropping, planes dropping. odd that it doesn't take his livelihood.
Pond 5.